The B team this week, we cover the Origin decider, Vince McMahon being a naughty boy, having some extramarital affairs, and Tim Sheens, we give him some advice on how to coach the West Tigers going forward.
Hello. Let's go. Another episode of the B Team podcast. Bernard, what's doing, my man?
Mate, big week. Big week of sport. We've been up all night. The last few nights.
A little bit dusty. Excuse us for that.
Watching Wimbledon. We're cheering Aussies
Let's
home.
talk about the GOAT, Nick Kyrgios. Man, what a run.
Good run.
Good run.
He
He did himself proud.
Yeah. He was happy. As much as he can carry on the court, yell at some
Maybe
fans,
that's part of the Nick
yell at
experience,
chicks,
the
having
Nick
700
Kyrgios
beers.
experience.
It is.
What, like blowing up at his box?
Yeah, he loves
Yeah,
he loves
loves
blowing up
it.
at the box.
What was he blowing up at him about?
I don't know.
They weren't Gene up.
But he
I
said
don't
as soon
know.
as the match is over, he's composed. Like,
People
you know what?
saying
It's
he
just
lo-
him.
People saying he lost. I disagree. I just think Joker is too good. He's the best returner of a tennis ball in the history of the sport, and he just breaks opponents down. I thought Nick made a great account for himself. First set, he looked good, and he had a good
First
crack.
set, Nick was beating anyone up that was up against
100%.
him. He was
Joker
playing
had no
unbelievable
answer.
tennis. It's just Nick's serve is just what gets him through the matches.
Power. And his tempo as well. He's just not mucking around, nice and quick.
He just couldn't break Joker, and Joker's just a robot out there. He's just a tennis
Joker's
machine.
a freak. Returning everything.
And it was good to see him. It was good to see Djokovic hold up another Grand Slam.
Can I just say this?
Four
Bernard?
Wimbledons back
Can
to
I say
back.
this? I'm a bit of a Joker fan now.
Nah.
Joker's grown on me.
Well, he's now having that. He's got that little rebel title about him.
Yeah,
now.
and I think that's why I like him. That whole
Yeah.
debacle of him. Look, Bernard, I'll say it. I'm vaccinated, but this is becoming a joke now. Like,
Well, the fact that he can play in England and now not
but
play
now
in
he's
the
not
US
playing in America.
is
But,
just
and he
stupid.
couldn't. And the whole thing, the fiasco of when we brought him over and then deported him, that made me like him. I wish he played in Australia and then just won and silenced all the critics.
Well, it's good to see him going strong, and who knows if he'll be allowed in the US
Who cares?
going forward? But
who
I
cares
think he
if he's
should
not
be,
vaccinated?
and if he does, he'll be winning another title.
Yeah, he will be. That was a big chance for Nick. It was so many of the dominoes fell the way he would have wanted. You had Nadal. The obvious one is the walkover.
Yeah,
Huge.
just
So he
fouled
gets
out,
the extra
injured.
rest. You had no Medvedev, the world number one.
Mm-hmm.
You had no Berrettini, who's very good on grass. He had COVID early. So this was the best chance for Kyrgios. You'd think.
And Novak was playing a lot of tennis.
Novak wasn't the Novak of maybe last
He
year.
had some matches where he was dropping a lot of first sets.
He was giving away some freebies.
He was down 2-0 in the
Sinner game. He
Yeah, in the
wasn't
Sinner
unbeatable
game.
Novak. So it got me thinking, Bernard. We're going to do a little new segment. It's called Would You Rather.
Yeah.
You've all played this at a drink up with a girl before. So we're going to do this now on the B team.
One way or the other, they've done it.
One way or the
Yeah.
other, they've done it. Would you rather win one Grand Slam
Yep.
and retire? You're never going to make another Grand Slam final again, but you retire.
Mm.
Or would you rather be Nick Kyrgios at the moment, lose a Grand Slam final, but you have the chance of winning more and making other finals? What are you doing?
If I was Nick Kyrgios,
one and done?
I'm going to do the George Costanza retire on a high.
Me too.
Just retire on a high because, like to be honest, this is probably his best chance at winning a Grand Slam. He's a freak
Yep.
talent.
He loves playing on grass.
Novak said, we'll see him more in the finals, but if he had won that one, I'm calling it a day.
Me too.
So, and
Me
like he
too.
said, that's what he said he was going to do. If he had won that, he'd achieve everything in tennis that he was happy
Go
with.
out on
and he would
top.
call it a day. Yeah, I think that's the way I would go. But it just depends on the athlete you are. If you're a Nadal who wants legacy and just keep chasing Grand Slams after Grand Slams, then, it's just a difference of athletes. It's hard to do at that level.
Gael Monfils, my favourite tennis player, he said, Producer Shabs has got his phone on. What are you doing, mate? Absolute rookie error. Sorry about
Is that Mario?
Rookie error. Rookie error. He said that, look, us tennis players, we don't want to win 21 Grand Slams. We just want one.
Yeah.
Nick would have been happy with one. I agree with you. Next one, West Tigers were taking on Para. I was watching Luke Brooks. We like Luke Brooks. We feel bad for Luke Brooks. So it got me thinking.
He's in a tough spot.
Would you rather be a one-club player, like Luke Brooks is at the moment, and earn $1 million, or earn the minimum at a big team and have the shot at winning a premiership? Like what a Luke Garner will be doing next year when he goes to Penrith.
Oh, mate, this day and age, I'll tell you got a short career span in rugby league. I'm taking
10 years if you're lucky.
I'm taking the $1 million one club player. I don't think premierships mean that much. Maybe chuck me in an Origin and I'll be happy.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're going to take
know
the
what I'll
pay
do?
cut and go for a premiership?
No, you know what I'll do? Give me a nice stint at one club where I'll do my money making early in my career. Then when I'm 28, 29, I'll go to a Melbourne Storm. I'll have a couple bellyache pre-seasons, or I'll go to the Penrith. Then I'll have my shot at the premiership.
Smart.
You know,
Smart.
earn
but
your money early, because as you're right, they're lucky Max.
Very
If
short.
they're having a 10-year career. So, and you can't hate players for wanting to earn money.
No.
It's their job.
No, I agree with you. I mean, look at Luke Keary's having some head knock issues, having some concussion
Yep.
issues. I mean, he's won his premierships
He
and he's
has.
got his money. He's had the best of both worlds.
Exactly.
So, I maybe take your option. But if I had to choose between one in this current day and age with the collisions, I'm taking the safety of a mil at a one-club
Well,
player.
as we've discovered, you and I are sellouts. So,
Yeah.
that doesn't surprise me. Okay, the fan questions have rolled in. 2 really, really good ones. This one is from Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you play at fullback if you were the Brisbane Broncos next year?
Ooh.
Selwyn Cobbo or Reece Walsh?
Well, I think Reece Walsh can only play one position. Like Pappenhausen can
I
really
think so.
only play fullback. It's
Can he
his
play
best
5'8"?
position.
Maybe. No, he's
No, I mean-
he's a fullback.
Yeah, so I feel like Selwyn's going to have to stay on the wing or go shift into the halves if he's going to play at Brisbane next year. He says he wants to stay at Brisbane, but you're going to have to go with Reece Walsh. You have to play both of them in your side. Reece Walsh is going to have to be your fullback.
You're paying Reece Walsh big bucks. He's going to
Yeah.
play fullback.
Well,
Selwyn Cobbo's only
Well,
20.
apparently, Reece Walsh is on 400. If he's on 400, that's a great signing for
steal.
Brisbane. That is probably signing of the season.
It is. It is.
400,000. Like, I mean,
And it just shows you another L for the Dolphins.
yeah, they
The
couldn't get him.
Redcliffe L's at the
Yeah.
moment.
They are
They're
struggling.
a joke, man.
And
What are
it's,
they doing,
it's
Bernard?
come up, a few people have pointed out, do they need support from the NRL?
Buzz came out and said that.
Do they need support
Why?
from the NRL because
How
their
so?
team is just going to finish dead last?
So what? The
Based
clubs-
on paper.
But did the NRL clubs even want this? I'm sure if you went to the other 16 teams, they didn't want a bye round every week.
Yeah.
Why should they help them out?
Well, and it's also saying, should we go around to other NRL clubs? Should we go to the West Tigers and say, do they need support? Because no one wants to go there either.
Well,
No one wants to go to the Warriors either. Do they need support?
theoretically, you should. That's why the salary cap's in place. It is as like a
And
support.
then you saw Bromwich going down over the weekend. It's just like, I just go like, my first thought was poor Dolphins.
Poor Dolphins.
They're already getting the veterans in, and one of them's already going down.
We posted
Just-
a TikTok about that. It was pretty funny. It was like they're just full with old guys and reserve graders.
And like, I just think it's going to be a few years before people start wanting to go to the Dolphins, and at least them start and build a foundation. But they're finishing last next year
But we didn't.
if they don't change
we
anything.
didn't expect them to win a comp in their first year.
No.
But even the Titans, when they started, they had Preston Campbell, they had Scott Prince, they had Luke Bailey, they had good players.
Well,
These guys are-
the
your best-
argument is, do they need extra money to go after players to give them more money, and do they need assistance from the NRL?
Well, where's all their money going now? The Bromwich brothers and Felice Kafusi.
Felice Kafusi, Anthony Milford
Like they've got
reportedly.
the same money as everyone else, so why can't they land a player?
No,
You don't wanna
no,
go up
do
to
you want to
Saint-
go there?
Nah.
Would you
I'm
want to
okay.
go there?
I'm
Yeah.
not the biggest fan of Queensland.
Yeah.
I go there for a holiday, like you're doing.
I'm like an attraction type guy. Yeah,
Maybe if they
give
give
me
me
the Dream
they
World,
give me, I
Movie
tell you what,
World.
they give me a
Get me
meal.
down to Sin City.
Yeah, they give me a meal. But yeah, we're both in agreement. Reece Walsh should play
Mm.
fullback. I think someone's only 20. Let him stay on the wing, mature a little bit for 2 years, and then
Okay, how about this fan question from Sam?
go.
Has Josh Otto Carr played his last State of Origin game? That's a big
Ooh.
question from Sam.
Nah, definitely not. Definitely not. Got some good wingers coming through.
I-
He'll be back.
I don't think he should have been dropped to
I
begin
agree.
with. His
Yeah.
form wasn't that bad to be dropped.
And
He
then
hadn't been-
once he got dropped, I thought he was the best winger in the comp.
yeah, and I don't think he played a bad game for New South Wales for him to be dropped.
No, I don't
So
think so. It was harsh. He'll be back.
I think if there's injuries, he'll definitely float back into the team. But I mean, they got players like Suwali coming through.
Yep.
Tupo's been actually playing really well for him.
Tupou and Toto were brilliant. in
Toto
game
will
two.
be a fixture for a long time as long as Penrith halves are there. So I don't know. He may not play another New South Wales game, but I don't think he should. I think he should be back.
He'll be back. He'll definitely be back. And Freddie's dropped people before. Maybe he had that little beef with Latrell. Latrell's better for it. He'll be back. Get Fox
Yeah,
back in the
I
team.
agree.
Off the back of that, it is State of Origin time very soon.
Game
with
3.
Game 3.
This
The
is what
decider.
Origin's all about. It's the biggest game of the year by
This
the
is
grand
it, you know,
final.
the Gladiators. This
Yeah.
is the Coliseum right here
Yeah.
at the Cathedral, Suncorp Stadium. Couple big injuries, though. Not injuries. COVID rule outs. The biggest one, Cameron Munster.
Massive.
One of, if not the best player in the league.
Oh, I think after that you just call it a day.
They're done. Pencil through 'em.
May as well just not play it. I know the only reason, and we've said this is
It's
because
the
it's at
Suncorp
Suncorp.
factor.
Anything can happen, and never say never. But mate, Munster is their only spark. He's the reason over the last few years why Queensland have actually even been discussed as a potentially winning a game. Otherwise, New South Wales with their depth should be winning most games.
Yeah. To win
Realistically.
this, they've got to make it ugly Like what they did in 2020 with the worst Origin team.
Yeah.
It's got to be a slow grind,
Spoil the
forwards.
Yeah.
DCE just takes over with his kicking. Kalen Ponga has little moments of
But
brilliance.
to be ruled out because of COVID, man, it's bloody rough. He wouldn't be wanting to miss out on the game, I could tell you that.
It's harsh. But
It came out that it was reportedly he could miss because it was just a rat test.
and then
Now
got the
he's
PCR.
missing him and
Yeah.
Tuolangi. It's shit for the game because there's going to be an asterisk on that. Well, Munster didn't play
Of
that.
course.
Or like the 2021, it was a COVID bubble one. It doesn't really
All
count.
right, here's one for you, Bernard. I want to ask you. You've been involved in this debate heavily.
Yeah.
What should we still keep testing these players? Because you and I have both had COVID. You and I have both had the flu
Multiple times.
multiple times. We've come in and done this potty when we've had the flu, and we've been in a worse state than when we had COVID.
Yeah, well,
I'm assuming if Munster got tested during training or before training, after training, he was feeling fine.
if I was a player, personally, and the stakes are this high and you're earning 30 grand for this game, I'm Munster, I'm not doing the test. Or if I'm doing the test, I'm saying, yeah, I've done it, and I'm jumping it. And I'm saying,
Yeah.
yeah, it's negative. It's all good. I can play. Jordan, you can't get any more Michael Jordan flu games now? Is that what we're doing? There's no more flu games.
Yeah, we like to glorify the flu game, but an asymptomatic COVID person can't play.
So the
Nico Hines got ruled out with COVID on the weekend for the Sharks. Taulangi's
Yeah.
out as well.
you can't have an ESPN 30 for 30
You
on
can't,
a
I don't
Munster
want to hear
flu
anyone
game
say
now. There's no more
anything.
flu games.
No more flu games.
Which is shit. No, I agree with you because Darren Lockyer has come out and said maybe the NRL should go back into a bubble to avoid
That's not happening.
more players getting not tested, but getting positive to COVID and then missing out on games. Because the last thing you want is a player missing out on a grand final because of COVID.
Because of COVID.
So he's saying maybe we should get in a bubble. No one wants to go in a bubble. Go ask the NRL players. Go ask the RLPA. They don't want to be in a bubble anymore. They want to function in a normal society. No more. I just think not that should do no more testing, but just like players, if they're up to playing, let them play.
Exactly.
I don't see the harm.
You don't
in it.
need a. You don't need
Everyone,
a.
all the players are vaxxed.
You don't need a COVID test, I think, to move interstate anymore. And you
No.
don't need. Do you need it to go overseas, producer Shabs?
No, you don't need it.
Certain
To
countries.
get back from the US, you don't need to be tested anymore.
Exactly.
You know,
So we don't need to be testing Origin players every day. Let's just relax.
let
a
them
little.
play.
Yeah,
Let the
I
boys
agree.
play. Let the flu games come back.
We want a flu game. Well,
Yeah.
imagine it came out. Munster put a clinic on at Suncorp.
Munster was battling with the flu. It was a Michael Jordan.
The COVID
performance.
game.
We're robbed of that.
We're never going to get that ever again. Bring back the flu games. All right, Bernard. Give us your Origin tip. You got very close. You predicted. You were on fire last Origin. You gave Matt Burton any time, which was absolute
which
cash.
was good. But I had New South Wales 1-12. They ended up bashing them. I think the
Yeah,
sin
they
bin was a
did.
bit harsh in that
It
game.
was. It opened up the floodgates.
But now with no Munster, you're going to have to think, Queensland are going to be strapped in attack. They're going to have to make it a gritty game. New South Wales are going to be the better attacking team. I'm going to say it's going to be a very fast-paced game. New South Wales will be dominant. When Cook comes on, they'll be going crazy around the ruck. Tedesco will be pushing up. So this is my tip. I'm going to New South Wales at the line. I think the line's 8.5.
You're going to take that.
New South Wales at the line minus 8.5 into James Tedesco, man of the match at $5.
That'll be very juicy.
You're looking
price.
at about a $6-7 depending
At
on your
least.
bookmaker.
At least.
I like to bet with pickle bet, but you're looking at a $7 man of the match into New South Wales line. I think yes, it's at Suncorp. New South Wales can still lose, but I think they're a guarantee win. And Teddy could have been man of the match in most of the games. Definitely game 2. If Cleary didn't have a clinic in that back end of the second half, he could have been man of the match. So I'm going to go Tedesco, man of the match.
I like it. I'm going to go off the back of getting New South Wales 13 plus right in the second game. I'm going to go New South Wales 1-12, purely for the Suncorp factor. I think it's going to be close. New South Wales might pull away. Queensland will bring it back. I'm going to go 28-16. So I'm going to take New South Wales 1-12. I'm going to go Stephen Crichton anytime try scorer for the pure reason. I'm going to call this the criticism theory. The most criticised player before game 1 was Jack Whiten. He had an absolute blinder. A lot of people have come out, ourselves included, saying if anyone should have got dropped from game 2, it should have been Stephen Crichton. So off the back of that, Stephen Crichton anytime try scorer.
I like that theory.
If you're betting with any bookmaker, it should be around the $7 mark. And as always, guys, remember to do it responsibly, of course.
Yeah, there you go.
So there are
I
two
like
tips.
that. And we're back in New South Wales. We're back in our hometown. I'm going to be there on Caxton. I'm going to be at the game. I'll be getting some content, but I'll tell you, going into enemy territory, I don't know what to expect. I don't think there's much of my kind out on Caxton.
I don't think so.
So I guess we'll see.
Lebanese, New
Yeah,
South Welshmen,
just
nah.
a big nose.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I get which version of Kemp a fair pick.
I see
So
it. People comment that a lot.
Maybe they'll get confused. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
I think you're better.
Depends
looking.
on how
I
many
think you're
beers
better
they're in.
looking than him.
Yeah, I'll take that. Thank you.
All right. Big news
Mm-hmm.
come out this week. I don't know if you saw Tim Sheens,
Massive.
who is the director of football.
Yeah,
or some kind of role
pretty
like
much
that.
a similar role as to Gus Gould
The
at the
boss.
Bulldogs. Yeah, calls the shots. in
He's
relation
told
to
the
footy.
Tigers board that he's happy to put his hand up and coach the Tigers next year.
Yeah, that's
Premiership
big.
winning coach. He's one of the GOATs there.
So he's employed himself to be coach.
So let's play a little bit of a game.
Okay.
If Tim Sheens was the coach of the West Tigers next year, 3 things you would do, Bernard, kick it off.
First thing I would do if I was Tim Sheens is I would not name 8 captains. Okay. First thing you do, pick one leader of the team, whether it be Luke Brooks, whether it be Jason Tama. Pick one. Don't pick 8. You don't need 8 people rushing to the ref. You don't need.
You got to have one captain.
Don't need to have him who's umming and ahhing on who's going up to the referee to deal with a penalty or whatnot. Pick one leader and let him lead throughout the whole season. That's my first thing.
I like that. Second thing, Tim, I don't know if you have any influence over this. I'm assuming you do. If you're going to pay someone $900,000 a week, make sure they're playing first grade. We don't want
Easy.
that much money just wasted away in reserve
Yeah.
grade like they've done with Josh Reynolds, like they've done with a lot of players. Tim, cap management. It's huge.
Last thing Tim needs to do as coach is ditch a core stadium.
We don't-
ANZ, whatever you want to call it. Take more games to Leichhardt. You play better at Leichhardt. The crowd gets around you at Leichhardt. It's a better atmosphere. We've been singing the praises of suburban grounds. Tim Sheens, if you're the coach, if you got to say on it, play more games at Leichhardt.
Yeah.
You'll be better for it.
And Tim, I'm going to double down as well. Stop playing games at Bankwest. Parramatta
Yeah.
and Leichhardt are 2 very different areas,
And maybe
okay?
stop with the Lebo drums as well. the
Yeah,
dub
leave
kit.
that to the
Leave that
Bulldogs.
to the Bulldogs and maybe Para.
That was brilliant. Tim, there you go. Take our advice on board. Time to move on to the starters. It's been a while since we've done something wrestling themed.
It has, and there's been some wrestling news that's hit the scene. Wall Street Journal, there's been a couple of wash bombs on the wrestling scene. Vince McMahon, now we brought it up on last week's
naughty
pod.
boy.
He's been very naughty. It initially came as being under investigation internally by WWE for some sexual misconduct.
Okay, so affairs.
Affairs. He had an
Okay.
affair with a staffer, paralegal.
So it's not assault or anything like that.
No,
He's just
no,
been a
no.
naughty
Well,
boy.
allegedly.
Some extramarital affairs.
Exactly. So,
I mean, look at the size of him. Look at this guy, 75 years old.
he's filled with
He
testosterone
needs
at the age
to
of 70.
release that somewhere. Linda McMahon's obviously
The
not
gym's
cutting-
obviously not doing enough. Yeah, Linda, I don't think she can provide what Vince needs right now
We're
at the
cruising
age
for
of
a
70.
cancelling, I think this
No, I kind of, yes, it's bad, in the workplace. He can't
course.
be having a crack at
course he can't.
some people, but they've obviously accepted a settlement, upwards of sometimes $1 million. That's their hush money, and now they've come out and said this is what's happened. So I guess we'll see. Investigation's not over. Innocent until proven guilty, but Vince being a naughty boy, you can't keep the man down when he's filled with that much testosterone.
Look
at the size of him.
Look at the size of him. Look, I've been watching a lot of Love Island,
Yeah.
and when you've been having affairs, I think best advice for you, Vince. Not that I've ever done this. Just come clean.
Come clean.
Come clean. Come
So,
clean.
I'm denied till you die.
Deny till you die.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
come
yeah.
clean and pay. He's got
Yeah,
enough money.
he's
to
got
burn.
enough
It's
money.
just bur- just-
So according to Wall Street Journal, 12 million over 4
nice little
years.
payday.
12
Nice
million.
So really,
To 4 different women. That's
nice payday for them.
yeah. I'd take the money.
I would too.
I would shut up about it too.
Yeah. Why not?
Just an affair. If it's
He's
just
been a naughty boy,
if
though.
it's an affair
He's
and
been a
Linda
naughty-
doesn't have to find
he's
out
been
about
a-
it, Vince give me a couple mil. I'll be quiet about it.
He's been a bit inappropriate. He's notorious for that. Getting
Even
girls to
just on
kiss his
screen.
backside,
Yeah, on
and touching
screen.
Sable. And
Well,
all.
you thought it was just a character, but like WWE, it's an extension of themselves.
He's keeping kayfabe, which
he
we
is
love.
Mr. McMahon. Exactly. But in that theme,
'Kay.
your wrestling theme, we're going this week with our starters. Top 5 wrestling themes of all time. So
Okay.
top 5 wrestling songs that the wrestlers come out to.
Usually with the starters, you and I have an idea.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's agree on this top 5. We couldn't agree.
No, because there's too many great
There's too
songs.
many. There's a lot of great songs, but we're going to just nail it down. We made a list,
Yeah.
and we're going to make a top 5 out of the list. The list is Stone Cold, Triple H, The Rock, Kurt Angle, Undertaker, Hulk Hogan, HBK, Ric Flair, and Vinnie Mac.
All right, well, 5 out of that list that you just said, I got to go. Kurt Angle, yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. Kurt Angle, Olympic gold
You
medalist.
can play that
Yeah.
at a boxing match. You can play it at the UFC.
Everyone knows.
Everyone
The
knows
crowd
you
involvement too.
suck. Yeah, it's for the crowd
The you
involvement.
suck chant.
All right, Kurt Angle 5.
Kurt Angle goes 5. 4.
No chance. That's what you got.
Yeah,
No,
well,
no.
we just brought him
No,
up.
no,
Vince
no, no.
McMahon.
Yeah, he's there.
throughout the Attitude Era, no chance has got to be.
When you heard that,
it's between him or Shawn Michaels.
when you heard, great, another great song, but when
Just a
you heard
sexy
no
boy.
chance, you knew shit was going to go down.
Yeah.
Vinnie Mac, the goat heel.
the old
The
strut
heel
down,
of all,
the strut. Yeah, yeah.
Number 4. Top 3, we all know the top 3.
Mm.
They're iconic. They're catchy.
Yeah.
They're just the best. Everyone knows. You play them. They don't even have to be a wrestling fan. I'm going to go number 3. If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
Rock, yeah, and it's lived on. He is the biggest star in Hollywood at the moment.
is.
Everyone knows if you smell what The Rock is cooking. The Rock has to make the top 5
Yeah,
list.
he has to.
2, though, I
it?
think missing out, skipping on. We're tossing up between Triple H, Time to Play the Game, which could have gone 3, or The Undertaker. Everyone
No,
knows
Stone Cold.
the Undertaker. I'm putting Stone Cold 1.
Stone Cold's 1.
Yeah,
When the glass shatters.
yeah, exactly right.
So one of these people, Undertaker's so iconic. Triple H is up there just purely because
I was
of the
out at the
entrance.
Argyle on the weekend and I spat some water out.
Triple
doing
H
the
too?
Triple H. Just
Triple H
you
too.
got to do it. while you're
Undertaker's
out.
missing out.
Undertaker's going to miss out. You're going to take Triple H second.
Triple H
Just
second.
because everyone knows it. Everyone
Yeah.
does the water spray.
The water spray gets it.
Triple H 2 and then number 1, Stone Cold,
Yeah.
glass shatters.
Everyone knows.
He's
Shit's
open
about
up
to go
a
down.
can of whoop ass on whoever's in the
Marching
ring.
down.
Yeah, he's yelling at himself.
Yeah.
Stone Cold number 1.
Stone Cold number
So
1.
let's recap that. Number 5, we got Kurt Angle,
Kurt
Olympic
Angle,
gold
you
medalist.
suck.
4, Vince McMahon, no chance. 3, we're going with The Rock. If you smell what The
number
Rock is
2,
cooking.
Time to Play the Game. Triple H.
And
water
number
spray.
1, Stone Cold, Steve Austin.
That's a great list.
Great list.
That is a great list. And that is a great starters. Bernard, it is time to jump into the HIA.
What caught your eye this week?
The footy was good.
Mate, for a round that's,
Exactly. It's a COVID-affected round.
COVID-affected
I
round,
think
and then
like
Origin
every
where there's a
game-
lot of buys.
Every game was entertaining.
Yeah.
Klemmer and Keon, a little bit of a biff.
Yeah, mate, Clement likes
tell you
it.
what, I'm gonna-
Clement's solely bringing back the biff in the NRL. Last week he got sin bin for throwing an uppercut after a dangerous tackle.
This one, you know who I'm giving my gold medal to? Saluka Fafita.
Oh, mate, taking that tough
Taking
carry.
that tough hit up. We've all been there before. You know when you're taking that hit up playing
Mm.
junior footy and you're just going to get absolutely drilled? Fafita says, give it to me, I'm going to do it. And
Trying to earn the
tell
respect
you
back
what,
at Souths.
Clemmer, he put him on the back foot a little bit.
Yeah,
and Clemmer then tried
put
with
the
a little
forearm
dirty
into
one.
the face. And he
Who's
got
your-
sent off.
Who's your money on?
Keon or
Clemmer?
Keon or Klemmer? I'm going with Youth. I'm going with Keon. Like Klemmer was grabbing him. You could
You know
now
what
you could
Clemmer's
read him
got?
saying he was hit me lad.
Yeah,
he had the
he's got
crazy eyes.
but
Yeah,
I think Keon would have folded him.
yeah, no.
And also gold medal, Latrell Mitchell runs in, pulls him
Oh,
off.
mate. That's one thing I love about Latrell's game.
He
And
is.
a couple of analysts will come out and say, "Oh, he's got to get rid of it." He's got that aggression. He's got
What about-
he's got ruthless
What about
aggression
that
in his
poor
game.
Knight slat up? Forget what
That
his
got
name-
KO'd.
The one that tried to be
Yeah.
rough, picks him up, drops him, and then he
Oh.
was sleeping.
Yeah, nah.
Latrell got a gold medal.
Latrell, that aggression in his game. Oh, you saw what he did to Manu. He's just got that snap factor in his
Yeah.
game. But that's what sets him
very good.
apart. It's
He
what
looked-
sets him
I tell
apart.
you what, how good did Cody Walker look?
They're saying Souths. They were writing them off a couple of weeks ago. We were writing them off possibly a couple
Now
of
that
weeks
he's
ago.
in that team,
They are Smokies.
definitely.
In the finals, they can
Beat
beat.
anyone.
but
As
they-
long as
they
he stays
can.
fit and doesn't get suspended,
Good on them. But yeah, I'm taking Keon. I'm going with the youth.
I'm going with
Now-
Keon as well.
The Dolphins, do they need help? We kind of covered that.
Yeah.
I think they're going to need some form of assistance, whether it's like incentivizing players to go over there, because what is the incentive to go over to a team that's not going to do well next year?
Yeah.
People are going to get offered $250,000, $300,000 more that they're
What do
already
you offer
currently
them,
on.
like, what cap assistance or something like that?
Yeah, give them an extra meal and offer player
Can't do
incentives.
that.
Player incentives, or
They'd
like
have the same cap
give
as
them some
everyone else.
third-party deals and some brown
Yeah.
paper bags, maybe some cars and some yachts. Give them the
Play
Melbourne Storm treatment.
Or do the old 18 holes with Uncle Nick.
Yeah. To go play over there. They need some form of incentives because right now they're in all sorts. They'll be finishing last next year.
They suck.
This one caught me a bit offside.
Go.
Heat of battle. Brandon Smith's just got a bit frustrated
Give
and
him the- give him the
called
ref a spray.
the ref a cheat. And I don't think it was. He didn't swear at him.
Just cheating bastard. I
Yeah,
believe he
exactly.
said.
Something along those lines. I think that was a bit tame. Sounds like an English
We've
film.
seen worse sprays at a ref.
Exactly right. To say he's going to get 4 weeks for that.
Harsh.
Give him a week. Give him a slap on the wrist.
Give him a week. He said sorry to the ref apparently after. That's all we need.
I don't. Yeah, he's given out a public apology. He acknowledged it was bad. Heat of the moment. They already copped a massive spray the last 2 weeks from Craig Bellamy.
Bellamy, did you see Bellamy's face?
Yeah, mate. I I don't know what's going on with Melbourne. Obviously,
I'll
they've
tell
had a
you
lot
what,
of
Bernard.
changes, and the origin period, they always kind of go through
Bernard.
this. They just haven't had the depth that they've had in previous years.
I'm going to drop it right now. You can put the pencil through them. Unless they sort
No.
out those.
Not
man,
the
those,
pencil.
The pencil is going straight through the Melbourne Storm.
No, mate.
Man, did you see that edge defense? That was
Yeah,
pathetic.
mate, they played Nicarima last week. They hadn't played since
it's going to get even worse
2016.
because
No,
Coates is out. Remus Smith is out.
Coates is coming back.
Grant Anderson's out. Everyone, they're dropping like
Munster
five.
will be back.
Too many
Munster will be
injuries.
back in the lineup.
Too many injuries.
Get them full strength. Full strength. They're a top 4
on
team.
these ones. The
No, no,
pencil
no,
straight
no.
through. Gone.
I got to disagree with you. They have had a rough few weeks with injuries and depth.
They
They don't
haven't-
have a Nico Hines coming off and just slotting into 5'8".
That's why I think
you know
the
what I mean?
pencil's through them.
Yeah, but once they're full strength,
They
I know
won't be, though.
Bromwich going down doesn't really help.
They won't be. Too many injuries.
Kafusi, he's coming back. He's been in the States. Just let
I don't
everything,
think the problem's their forwards. It's out wide.
let
they're getting
everything
carved
come back
up.
to normal
They're gone.
and let them have a good 6 to 4 week run through going into
I
the
just don't think
finals. They'll
they've
pick
got that
back up.
Roosters luck. Someone must have walked
I guess
in
we'll
between
see.
a ladder or something. They got bad luck. This one was caught my eye.
Okay.
It's very interesting. The Eels are going to give Mitchell Moses a long-term deal and make him a halfback at the Eels for the rest of his career. Lifetime contract.
I'd guess that's going to be a $1 plus, being a top 5 halfback in the comp, Mitchell Moses. So if you're Mitchell Moses, I'm parking up there.
I am too.
I
Reid
think
Marnie's leaving.
Reid
so
Marnie's leaving, but they're going to have to make some moves in recruitment. But I mean, he'll have some interest from outside clubs.
Well, they have
you
to
know.
keep someone because they're losing Marnie. Isaiah Papali'i's going
Yeah.
as well, so 2 of their best players are gone. They had to tie
Matt
someone
Madison's also leaving.
he
No,
gone?
no, he
No, he's staying.
he
He's
declined
staying.
on the
Yeah,
Dolphins and
staying.
he's staying.
Wise move, right?
Yeah, very wise. But I think that's great for Mitchell Moses. He got out of Dodge and left the West Tigers. Him and Tedesco made the right moves.
He's a good player.
No, I rate
Very
him.
good
I
player.
rate
Is he a
him.
top 5 half?
I think he's either 5th or he's borderline at the moment when you go through it. And we've talked about it in the past. Jerome Hughes, Cherry Evans, Nathan Cleary. You know, who else you got there? Mitchell Moses he's up there.
He's up there.
Performing
Nico Hines is
parasite.
playing really well,
A
but
performing parasite, he's in there. I know they've struggled with consistency, but
he's a top 5 half.
but that comes with the comp just being inconsistent and just like, not having teams that are serious threats. You kind of let your guard down. And that's why I think Para are going to be a fixture in the finals like they were last year.
I think so. Well, they can beat the big boys, which is Penrith and
And
Melbourne.
I think that's a great signing for the Eels. Lock him down. Lock down a quality half while you can.
I want your opinion on this because I know you're opinionated when it
Very.
comes to this topic. The Tier 1, Tier 2 debate.
Yep.
They've changed it up a little bit recently to allow players. So now you
For
can
international
for an
teams.
international, which I think is great. So you can now play as long as you haven't played for a Tier 1 team, so
Yeah.
New Zealand or England, you can play State of Origin as long as you meet the criteria. And now they're also letting players represent these Tier 2 teams at a World Cup. So Jerome Luai, Brian To'o have said, and you see it with Tonga as well.
I think it makes sense because
I like the rule. Do you think it should? Because people are blowing up. So your older heads are going, well, if you're playing
No.
State of Origin, you have to play for the Kangaroos.
No, because nowadays, I mean, we're getting to that point where a lot of those players that are in Tier 2 nations that will soon be Tier 1. Tonga and Samoa could soon be Tier 1 nations.
Very true.
So a lot of those
Definitely
players
Tonga.
have been born in New South Wales or Queensland or have been born in Australia. So, but they want to represent their heritage, and represent their families and play for Samoa, play for Tonga, even possibly play for New Zealand. So the question is, should now New Zealand players that were born in Australia, born in New South Wales or Queensland, be able to represent New South Wales? Because the thing is, you're going to get the best of the best playing. You're going to get the best New South Wales players, the best Queensland players. You already got Samoan players and Tongan players playing for Queensland, New South Wales. What's the difference if you get some New Zealand players? Is it because they're Tier 1 nation?
Yeah.
Well, if Samoa and Tonga become Tier 1 nations, is the same rule going to apply?
It's true.
No. So I think if they meet the criteria, I think it's if they were born
No, I
here
agree.
or came in
Moses
below the
Le-
age of 13, they
Well,
should be
Moses
able to
Leota
play.
was the most recent one. He was going to play. Man, Freddie was talking about bringing him in.
Remember Ronaldo
and now he's playing
Mulatalo?
for New Zealand, same as Ronaldo. Was going to play for Queensland.
So I think, you give it a couple of years, they're going to be forced to say, well, as they become Tier 1 nations, the rules are going to change.
As long as you meet the criteria to
and
play State of Origin.
imagine, some New Zealanders being eligible to play for New South Wales or
If they
Queensland.
meet the criteria, I wouldn't have a problem
I think
with
that's going to make the product even better, Origin even better. Just the play, you're going to get the best of it. It's going to give them more
it. It makes
depth.
the World Cup better as well.
It's going to give them more depth as well.
Now, the World Cup will be better. It'll be more interesting. You won't see Australia dominate so much.
Yeah, and you'll get players wanting to play for their countries
I
as
love
opposed to
Yeah.
Toto coming out and say, I want to play for Samoa. and
Mad.
it's going to strengthen the World Cup. So
I
I
agree.
think it's best for both international rugby and rugby league and state of origin.
I agree. No, I think let them play, make the World Cup more interesting.
Because it does. You turn off a bit at the end of the season.
Yeah,
Doesn't.
it's on at a weird time. Summer rugby league doesn't feel right. And
Then
then
best for the international game.
no, I agree.
You're right.
I agree. Long shot time,
Yeah, this is.
agonizingly close. Unjabor, which I gave at the start of Wimbledon.
You almost called that.
She had it, and then she absolutely bottled it. So we're getting close. We've both jagged a couple throughout the year, but this is my one. I'm going to pitch it to you guys. It is a long shot.
Yep.
Sydney Roosters to make the grand final. So I'm not saying they're going to win it. They're paying $26.
Big long shot.
Melbourne, with all their injuries at the moment, I'm putting the pencil through them. Too many injuries. So, apart from Penrith, the three best teams are Cowboys, Sharks, Para. Roosters have beaten them all.
Yep.
If the Roosters can get into the top 8, sort out our problems in attack in terms of fluidity, and then we need to fix up our defense a little bit as well. If we can just get into the 8, doesn't matter. We're not going to make top 4. 5th to 8th.
Yeah, you'll finish 7th or 8th.
Let's say we finish 6th or 7th. We'll go on a run just like we did in 2010. 2010, we finished 6th, I believe. We'll go on a run. We can beat any team apart from Penrith.
I got it. That it's $26 for a reason. Darren,
$26. They're currently 4
you
points
know,
outside the
Luke
top 8.
Keary may not return. Okay,
Yeah.
they are strapped for depth. Victor Radley plays 5 games a year.
Don't
okay?
worry about that, Bernard.
Yeah.
Peaking at the right time of the year.
I hope so. I just don't think Sam Walker can put that team on his back and take him to a
James
premiership.
Tedesco can. Tedesco and
I
Walker.
like the Roosters. I love their
I'm
culture.
not saying we're not winning the premiership. We'll eventually get to the final
But
and lose
you're
to
saying
Penrith
to make it.
to
Okay.
make it.
Well,
2010.
I'm going to keep that thing.
Gee
If
up,
we're going
Chooks
for
fans.
an NRL futures bet, my long shot is Penrith is a Quinella. So both teams to make the grand final. Penrith Panthers and a Parramatta grand final is paying $10. Now, everyone's writing off Para. Like how you just written off the Melbourne Storm for absolutely no reason.
Too many injuries.
No, I got to disagree. But
Gone.
a lot of people are writing off the Parramatta Eels. They're saying
They
they can't. They're not consistent enough. Look what they just did at Leichhardt. They've lost to the Bulldogs. They've lost to the Cowboys earlier in the year. And not just losing, they've got belted by them. So I just think, like you said, they're going to come right by the end of the year. Para always do this. They show glimpses of brilliance. They fall off a little bit, and they come good right at the best time. This is the best chance they're going to have this season. They know that going in with a full-strength Parramatta team. Reid Marnie being there, Papali'i being there, Moses, Gutho firing on all cylinders. I'm going to say Penrith, Parramatta grand final paying $10, and this is their only chance to
I
win
like it.
And on any given Sunday, they can beat Penrith in
They
the
have
grand
to
final.
win this year.
I'm not going to say they can win it, but they're going to make the
They
grand final.
have to win this year, Bernard, with all the players that leave.
And it's my long shot for a reason.
I've just whipped up the table now.
Yeah.
Penrith first, they're going to be minor premiers.
Yeah, it's $1.01 to be minor premiers. They've already locked it. It's actually $1.01.
North Queensland second. I think you can book
That
them
was a
in.
smoky.
I think you
for
can
the
book them
year.
in for a top 4 spot. I think they're going to make
They'll be a top 4 finish.
Melbourne on 24 points.
They'll be
I'll
a
tell you
top
what,
4.
They got a lot of injuries.
Full strength, they're a top 4
I just
team.
don't know if they're getting full strength again this year, Bernard. That's why I've got my doubts. Cronulla are 4th on 24. Then you've got Brisbane and Para on 22. Para could slide into the top 4.
Yep.
If they do, they're a huge chance of
I
making
think
the grand final.
it's either Para or Cronulla getting that 4th spot. Like I said, if Melbourne come good, Pappenhausen back, I think they should be in the 4. And then, like you said, can your Roosters in that bottom 8
Yeah.
beat a Brisbane?
Now I'm looking at it
You
now.
know?
South's are 7th on 20 points.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to say South's are
I'm
in.
saying it's the way they're currently playing.
Manly on 18. My apologies. I said Roosters are 4 points. We're 2 points behind. Manly on 18. St. George on 18.
Discounting Manly there.
Roosters on 16.
Yeah.
Roosters play St. George this weekend. That's a 4-pointer. That's huge. Manly without Turbo. I'm going to say they drop out of that.
They've been playing some good footy. It's going to be between you and Manly.
Yeah, Roosters slide in there. And then I tell you, Bernard, sudden death footy. Beaten Cronulla. Beaten North Queensland.
Can happen.
Beaten Parramatta. Roosters could do it.
They are just the cards are stacked against them.
So are we in agreement that Manly are missing out? Roosters going to make the...
I think it's between them. It's between Roosters and Manly for possibly that 8th spot. I think Cronulla just miss out on the 4.
Yep.
I think they go 5th.
Huge win
But
against the Storm.
if anyone's going to miss out, it's going to be St. George as well. I think
St. George will miss out. Bottom of the table, your Canterbury Bulldogs
Yep.
are on 10. Gold Coast are on 8. West Tigers are on 8.
I think West Tigers finished last.
You reckon they're getting
I
the
think West
spoon?
Tigers finished last. I think the way the Bulldogs are finishing the season, it's very promising going into next year. I think they avoid the spoon, and that's a win. That's a win for Mick Potter, and that's a win for Bulldogs fans around Belmore and the Canterbury Bankstown region, because we were in all sorts. Trent Barrett got sacked at the start of the year. We were, Matt Burton,
You
we
keeping
were all
Mick
getting
Potter
worried.
around next year?
I think he stays in an assistant capacity. I mean, he's shown that he's worth it. They've been playing good attacking footy. You got Avarillo playing good footy at fullback. He's made some good positional changes. So I think keep him there. They need to find a head coach, and who knows who that's going to be. But I mean, it's promising going
Big
into
game
next
this
year.
week against South. Winnable.
Definitely at Core Stadium on a Sunday. I might show my head there.
You back in time?
Yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back Thursday from Origin. So I'll be showing my face, getting behind the boys.
Well, there you go.
Um,
Anyone listening in Queensland, we got viewers everywhere. I just saw we cracked the
New Zealand market.
New Zealand market top 50 rugby league
Yeah.
podcast in New Zealand. So, kia ora to all our
Yeah,
New
Don't
Zealand.
get me wrong, we feel sorry for you had to go through with that New Zealand Warriors team. But
Yeah.
hopefully you find some solace in listening to us each week.
Yeah, that's it. And if you're in Brisbane and you see Wish version of Den and Kemp, make sure you go
Yes.
up and say hello.
Say hello, come for an interview, have a crack.
And as always, guys, make sure you are following us on Instagram and TikTok, the B Team Podcast. Give us a 5-star rating wherever you're listening, and enjoy State of Origin. Up the Blues. Bernard, it's been a pleasure, my man.
Take it easy.
Ciao.